Hey everyone, welcome to another video. So today we're just going to be looking at the different pencil brands and we're going to be testing out the opacity, the layering, the blending of all of them. This is just really to see which one is best for beginners because let's be honest, I'm a beginner and I have no idea which one's good. So starting with the Crayola twistables, these are ones we just twist the end and it goes in and out. When it comes to opacity, they're pretty good. I'm not pressing hard at all. I'm just sort of pressing as you would if you were in school, colouring something in. Coverage is decent. The layering, now I remember the first time I did this, the layering wasn't great, but then again I had no idea what I was doing back then. I still don't have any idea what I'm doing now, but I have a better idea of how to use pencils. And I just put a light layer down first, and then I just build up to see how far I can push the colour and push the pigment. You can see with the last bit it's quite dark, and I was pressing pretty hard there if I'm honest with you. Now with blending I've got three different colours. I've got the red I've been using. I've got a yellow and an orange. And as far as I know, it's that you start from the light colour and work up the dark colour. So that's why I'm starting with a yellow layer. Then moving on to the orange. Now one thing you will see is that I don't actually have the exact same colours in every brand because the brands don't have the exact same colours. But I've tried my best to keep it at red, yellow, orange at least. And honestly, I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't know if I'm blending these correctly. I hope I am. But Crayola didn't so much blend as the colours just layered on top of each other. Like I said, the layering is great. No complaints there. But the blending could be better. Whether that's me or the pencil, you guys decide. You can see with the price that these are not the cheapest. They're actually more the mid-range brand. They're pretty good. You can find them in any store, really, no matter where you are. The next ones are the Staedtler Norris color. These are roughly pretty much on par with Crayola in terms of price, but oh, in terms of everything else, they are so much worse. So much worse. They're very scratchy pencils. They're very wooden. Obviously, they're made of wood, but what I mean is they're very stiff. The lead is... it just damages the paper. I mean, when you press down harder, you'll see later on in the video how hard I'm pressing down to get any sort of colour or opacity or anything out of these pencils. It's impossible. Honestly, do not buy these. 100%, I will say that. Do not buy the Staedtler Norris colour pencils because they're not good. Like, I'll be pressing really hard here and I can barely get any pigment out of this pencil. I can just get, like, the lightest, scratchiest piece of coverage ever. Blending, yeah. If you remember last time I said that I could not blend these pencils, I still can't blend these pencils. I have no idea how to do it. I have no idea if I need a special tool, which I shouldn't because it's a pencil. But there was just no way I could make these blend. I tried everything. I didn't want to press too hard in case I scratched the paper completely. But maybe it is the paper, I don't know. I was just using a general sketchbook because this is for beginners, and beginners don't generally have artist quality stuff unless they're serious about it. If you're just buying pencils for your child or for you to mess around with, don't buy the Staedtler. Don't do it. Buy the Crayola. They're better in every way. I just couldn't do it. There was nothing I could have done to try and make these better. But anyway, moving on to my personal favourites. The Faber-Castell Polychromos coloured pencils. These, well, these are student slash professional grade. I think they're student grade. I mean, they're the most expensive pencil by far. So basically, these ones, when I started using them, they went down like butter. They were amazing. They really are. I can't recommend them enough actually. If you want to use colored pencils and if you're kind of serious about it, 100% invest in some Polychromos. I don't have the 24 pack. I don't have the 12 pack. I kind of just have a mix because I bought some that single, and then I bought I did buy the 12 pack, and then I bought some single extra ones to add on to my colour collection. It's expensive. It's like Copics, except not. When you come to the layering, I didn't have to press very hard at all with these. I didn't really want to press too hard. But look at the depth of the colour I managed to get out of these pencils. You know, it was about 4 layers on there. And the reason I didn't press too hard is because the ends are not as sharp as they were when I bought the pencils. And that's because I'm quite heavy-handed. I'm quite heavy-handed. I can't talk today, sorry. But when it comes to blending, again, I'm not a professional at blending pencils, but these ones pretty much do it for you. They are very easy to blend as long as you just lay a light layer down. So don't press too hard, obviously, otherwise the colours will sort of not cancel each other out, but they won't work. But 100%, the Polychromos are definitely worth your cash. If you're serious about it, if you want to go into making art with coloured pencils, get the Polychromos because they're amazing. They're expensive, yes, but later on we're going to come to a cheaper alternative that might be worth looking at if you can get it. But for now, we're going to go on to the Tesco pencils. Now, let's see, these are 55 pence for a 12 pack, £2 for a 24 pack. I don't know, do you guys in America have Tesco? If you do, go and see if you can find them. If not, I would say Walmart. But these are uh, what are they? They're the Tesco Go Create option. They are, there they are, the Tesco Go Create. If you see any kind of brand like that, or if you can get them wherever you are, definitely pick them up because despite the price, you'd expect them to be terrible. They're actually not that bad. They're better than Staedtler. You can't let that sink in. They are better than the Staedtler pencils. They look the same on the video, but usage. Just using them is so much easier. Then they're not as scratchy. They're still a little bit scratchy, but they're not damaging the paper in any way. So definitely give them a go if you can find them. And you can see the layering is pretty good. Better than Staedtler. It's not as good as Crayola, but it's better than Staedtler. Yep. They're not great pencils, and look at the price difference. I mean, definitely go for. Just goes to show really that name isn't everything, and price certainly isn't everything. I did have a little hiccup there with the yellow, in that when I first put it down, grey came out. I don't know why that is. Tell me down below in the comments if you know why that yellow pencil decided to be grey when it first got pressed onto the paper. I will say that they do let themselves down with blending, in that it doesn't really happen, like, at all much. They were very hard to blend, but overall a decent solid choice. Now these ones, the next ones, they are Tesco own, so another Tesco brand. They're called Blendable. There we go. Blendable. That's all they're called, right? They are Tesco blendable pencils. They're apparently exclusive, and they're 50p dearer than the Go Create option. I have to say, I picked them up because they said blendable pencils. And essentially, well, I was very surprised with how they worked. Because going down on the paper, they were quite soft. Not as soft as Polychromos, obviously, but noticeably softer than Crayola, Staedtler, and the Go Create option. Which is weird, because they are essentially Go Create but blendable. Well, they say they're blendable, we'll test that later. The layering was also really, really good. I mean, I didn't have a problem with them whatsoever. I could get a decent amount of colour out of them. I could get a decent, coverage. So I'm actually very impressed with how these pencils work. And, it's just, I don't know. But when you come to the blending, again, I don't get the weird grey colour, at least. That's a plus. That's a big plus. But they did blend. They did definitely blend much better than the Crayola, the Tesco, the Staedtler. So I don't know. I think these are UK only, or at least Tesco only. If you can grab a pack of these, like I said, they're £2.50, which is about $4, something like that. They're pretty cheap. They're a decent price. And honestly, if your child or you are just getting started into art and you can't afford Polychromos or like anything else, definitely get these if you can, or get the equivalent. I would highly, highly recommend the blendable pencils over pretty much any of the other cheap options. I would say blendable pencils and Crayola are a good stand-in for the Polychromos if you can't afford them, or what's the other ones? Carandosh. I don't have those, so I can't say anything about them. But the problem is with any kind of swatch test, it's just a swatch. It doesn't really tell you what the pencils are like when you're properly using them. So we're going to go into a speed paint or speed draw, and we're going to see how they all work in the field, in their natural habitat. So I'm going to leave you now with this speed paint, and I'm going to pop back at the end to talk a bit more about what the pencils were like. that is it. This is the end of the speed paint. You can see all of the different pencils and how they worked. So leave a comment down below with which one you prefer, how I did on the blending, and which one you think is the absolute worst of these pencils. The scene is obviously Pride Rock because quite honestly it's the easiest thing for me to draw. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.